the Philadelphia Eagles now. Let's talk about it too much. What they did on primetime against the Los Angeles Rams, what Saquon Barkley has continued to do. Remember, we're a couple weeks removed from him jumping over somebody backwards. Okay, jumping over somebody backwards, and we think this guy's absurd. Now he goes for 255 rush yards.
Yeah.
This guy breaks some Philadelphia Eagles records that were set by LaShawn McCoy and all the greats of the past. This Philadelphia Eagles team might be the real deal, especially defense, huh, baby?
Definitely the real deal. Obviously, it always starts with the quarterback play. Jalen Hurts, after coming off that great year that he has, he's earned his money getting Saquon, but the defense, Fangio coming over there, started off struggling earlier in the season. Even if some of us in here were saying, hey, it might be Fangio over after what happened in Miami last year. So then, you made some changes. Mitchell's been dynamic as a rookie corner on the outside, put Cooper DeJean in the slot. He's been phenomenal at the nickel spot. You got your pieces on the back end, up front. The guys are dogs, linebackers. Everybody's on the same page defensive-wise. And then that run game, like Stoutland University, those big boys up front, the moves that they made moving on even after, the great Jason Kelsey retired, they just pound you. Saquon hit you with one, hit you 2-yard gain, 3-yard gain here, there, 70. He's out the gate, first play of the second half, another 70-plus to end the game. Just absolutely dynamic in the run, in the pass game. It's hard to stop these boys. Still my Super Bowl pick.
It is, and listen, obviously, D-Bud has picked them up as a team that he has liked since they got Jalen Hurts, I believe. That is why he enjoys that team, or the fan base, whatever the case. Saquon going for 2 70-plus yard touchdowns is some historic shit. I mean, like every week he is doing something new that is breaking records. Here's some stats that we got from the ever-intelligent Hembo. By yards from scrimmage, Saquon has 3 of the top 6 performances in the NFL this season. 302 versus the Rams, obviously, total, plus receptions, plus his 2 of 55. 199 versus the Jaguars, 198 versus Commanders. Saquon leads the NFL in runs of 30-plus yards, 9 of them. 40-plus yards, he has 6 of them. 50-plus yard runs, 5 of them. And 60-plus yard runs, 2 70-plus yard touchdowns, 3 of them. During the 7-game win streak, the average score for these Philadelphia Eagles is 30-15. Average yardage, 403 to 223. Average explosives, 9. Which they're getting through the run game, not just the pass game. They're getting through the run game in this entire thing. And they've outgained their opponent by 100-plus yards in every game during their 7-game win streak. The last team to do that in a season was the 1949 Eagles.
Good team.
So I don't know how many people are alive. Obviously, they're watching it. Death Squad, they used to really...
Oh, my God.
They would beat the hell out of you.
Crazy.
And those Eagles, Johns over there.
Oh, baby.
Oh, they used to love it. Well, now they're getting a chance to experience it again. This team, real deal. Stats obviously all line up in their favor, but watching them, explosive fun. And seeing Saquon do his thing, I didn't know if it was ever going to happen. We've seen glimpses of greatness out of Saquon over his first few years with the New York Giants. There'd be a primetime game, Saquon would go crazy. And then we'd look at the record of the team, and it'd be like they're 1-10 right now. It's like, damn. Okay, so he's probably gone from our television for a long, long time. Now he goes to a new home after everything that happened on Hard Knocks this offseason with the New York Giants, including this conversation right here where Joe Shane was talking to Mara. Everybody remembers when Mara says, I won't be able to sleep at night if he ends up with the Philadelphia Eagles. And that came shortly after Joe Shane said, just got a text from who? Didn't say. The Chicago Bears are running up the price, and the Philadelphia Eagles are out. Okay, we're watching this all unfold in real time. There was another conversation where Joe Shane had to explain his line of thinking about not wanting to keep Saquon Barkley because the owner, Mara, kind of looks like a genius in this entire thing. Mara is very much against getting rid of Saquon Barkley. Here's another convo from the Hard Knocks, and then we'll see how it kind of pans out now that we're after week 12 of the NFL season.
Because we're not going to franchise him. Like, it doesn't make any sense to franchise him. So.
Unless you think you can trade him after doing that.
Right, and then could we get something and trade him? What are we really going to get unless it got down to like $7 million? And I don't want to offer that because I don't want to be like we disrespected him. There's 31 teams. It only takes one to, maybe be open to doing something. If it doesn't get to that, hey, we're going to do the right thing. We're going to let you hit free agency, find out your market, come back, and let us know if we can match it. If we can, we'll have those discussions.
I mean, in a perfect world, I'd still like to have him back. Until we can prove that we can have a decent offense without him.
Daniel's making a lot of money, and it's the fork. Like, we got to figure out is he the guy? So we got to protect him. We need to put resources there. We have Waller, Belly, a healthy Wandell, Hyatt, Slayton. We'll have to find a running back, but upgrade the offensive line, give him a chance.
It would force us to take a running back in the high to mid.
Or we can still sign one. There's going to be guys, if we're patient, that ended up shaking out. Devin Singletary, who was in Houston, played for $275 this year. Joe Mixon may be a cap casualty, so now you got Saquon, Jacobs, Pollard, Eckler. That's 6 guys right there that are that are free agents, how many clubs really need running backs where they're going to invest resources in the position. Second week of free agency, I think there'll be some value guys, specifically at the running back position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't commit to anything.
Yeah, let's not be guaranteeing any decisions have been made just yet here on the second day. Mara knew.
Yeah.
Got no ball.
Mara knew.
He did.
Yeah.
He said, listen, remember Mara came out and said publicly that he's tired of having to answer questions from his billionaire friends about why his team sucks. That was numerous years ago. They ended up paying somebody an astronomical amount like a week afterwards, that being said. Now he's coming in there going, the only good thing that we've had on this team, by far our most popular guy, by far our biggest jersey seller, by far the only person that anybody really likes on our team is this one particular guy. And then you got Shane there going, don't worry about it.
Come on.
We got to protect this guy.
Kidding me?
Yeah.
We got to get every position but the one that's right next to the quarterback. We got to get every position but the one that can kind of maybe load the box to make your life a little bit easier on the outside. I mean, obviously, nobody's going to sign up for this offseason Hard Knocks ever again.
No.
Nobody is ever going to do it. But every single game that passes, this decision, and us obviously watching it, like everything he does, he is phenomenal. And I'm happy that we're getting a chance to experience it because the Philadelphia Eagles, even though they're in the division of the New York Giants, and they're the rival of the New York Giants, they're the perfect home for him. If you think about Sirianni, how he feels, about how they feel about the run game, about how their offensive line is set up, it was like a perfect match made in heaven almost. So I'm happy all those things were talked about, still befuddled by all of it.
Yeah, and then having a guy like Jalen Hurts, who you have to respect in the run game as well if you're the defense. So that takes one guy that, their eyes got to be on him and not on Saquon. And you got A.J. Brown, who you can't leave one-on-one on the outside. And I know it looks terrible for Shane, which it does. Look, in this situation, Saquon, Giants, like that pretty much was their offense. But you looking back, hindsight's always 20/20. But everybody kind of in the football world had started to just devalue that position overall. The running back position. So it was like, okay, well, you give the guy 12, you give him 14 million, 15 million. That wasn't really like now Giants fans for sure. But around the league, you look at a lot of these guys that had to move on and go to different teams to get their money. And you think about it, Derrick Henry,
boom,
he had to move on, playing
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal. Josh Jacobs, which obviously Aaron Jones, he goes to Minnesota. Pollard's having a decent year in Tennessee. Like, all these guys had to go somewhere else to get their money to almost prove their worth. Even Jahmyr Gibbs, when he was drafted where he was drafted, a lot of people talked about, the Lions don't know what they're doing now. He's one of the best backs in the league. So it's kind of running back the ball, playing physical football. It's kind of coming back. It's coming back around.
Is this why Jamar Chase and the wide receivers that didn't get paid are like, excuse me, we would like to be paid right now? Because there's a chance that the way football is cyclical, and I think we're in the middle of one of those coming back, and we've talked about that, I don't want to say ad nauseum, but ad nauseum. We've been talking about how everybody was getting small. Everybody was getting small because they had to go 53 and a third. You're hearing that number a lot because people are talking about the same thing. That's how wide a football field is. So defenses had to defend every single blade. And we're going to be fast. We're going to do this. Then all of a sudden, offensive coordinators, and you can go back and see who it was at the time. I think Baltimore's remained this way, especially as soon as they get Lamar Jackson. But even Andy Reid and even the other teams that you think are like wide open spread offenses, they're like, we can take advantage of what is currently on the defensive side. Lower scoring games at the beginning of the season because we were in the middle of just running the ball and maybe some bad quarterback play, but maybe it wasn't bad quarterback play. Maybe it was just like, hey, we're going to run the rock a lot more. And a lot of the guys are in brand new homes. So I think that running back market is about to go. Do we remember what Saquon, I know it was 13, about 13 a year with Philly.
13-3.
How many years was it?
3 years, 39, I thought it was.
3-year deal? Okay.
Yeah,
well, man, he's certainly been worth the value.
What was it last week? We put it up. It was like was it Derrick Henry?
107th or
like 100. So it's obviously the quarterbacks, you put them in their own scale, but then even, the receivers are getting, damn near 3X that. CeeDee Lamb just signed for $35 million a year.
I think that's
Justin Jefferson, he's, 30-something, and then you looked how Minnesota had to win this past week. Hey, we can't go to Jefferson. We threw 3 interceptions, forcing it to him. Now everybody else kind of around him eats. So it's still a passing league. I think you still need a quarterback to go down and convert a 2-minute drive to win a game, to win a Super Bowl. But at the same time, when you can lean on teams like the Lions do second half, like the Ravens do when they're playing well, and like the Eagles do, where they just keep pounding, you finally find the crease, just put a team away. That's the worst for a defense.
That's playoff football.
That's playoff football.
That is what playoff football
this time of year.
Which is why I think we can start to separate who and who at this exact moment, especially the performances week after week. Teams are getting very consistent too. I brought up the Lions. They've been just pounding folks.
Yeah.
I mean, just pounding
Killing
folks.
them.
That's why, whenever I say Lions by 20, it's because, like, the Lions have that NFC North, I mean, They're 10-1. They're in the lead. There's 9-2 right behind them. There's 8. I mean, it is the NFC North is absolutely stacked with great teams, and they're all kind of chasing each other. Like that's why I think the Lions team was very motivated coming in against us. But how about the Philadelphia Eagles? What they did? I mean, it's just like these teams that are at the top, they don't mind showcasing that a little bit.
Got to do it.